All right, guys, welcome back. We're in week 3, and this is today's game plan. We're going to cover the quarter note triplet, and then we're going to continue with chromatic solfege, this time with the idea of leaping to chromatic notes. The last couple of weeks, we've dealt with chromatic embellishing tones as passing or neighbor tones, and now we're going to discuss how to touch them by leaping. All right, so the first performance rhythm is in 2/4, and so 2/4 meter doesn't really divide down. It's the smallest meter we have. So I just put boxes around the entire measure, and you can see the elements are already in there perfectly placed. So first measure, we've got a dotted quarter and an eighth, ta, ti, right? Then we've got a quarter and an eighth note triplets that takes up one beat, ta, triola. Here is where you're going to fit 3 quarter note beats into the space where normally 2 would happen. So for that one, we still say triola, but we just do a longer one. So it's like triola. It's very similar. In fact, it's identical to the 3 versus 2 polyrhythm that we discussed in week 1. All right, eighth note triplets and eighth notes. Eighth note triplets, eighth notes again. Quarter note triplets takes up the entire measure in 2/4. And then we've got a quarter and a rest. All that was forte. That's the first phrase really of this exercise. Now getting into the second phrase, we're going to be piano. And it starts very much the same way with a dotted quarter and an eighth. Then we got a quarter to eighth notes. Quarter note triplets. Eighth note triplets into eighth notes. And there again, you can see the relationship, almost a polyrhythmic one, where you have 3 eighth notes in one beat, and then the next beat you have 2 eighth notes in one beat. Then you have quarter note, dotted quarter note, eighth note, quarter note triplets, quarter note rest. Ends the same way. All right, second line of music. Let's go, and we're back into forte. And again, two eighth notes, and then 3 triplet eighth notes. Quarter note triplet, quarter note triplet, quarter note, eighth note triplet, quarter note triplet, quarter note triplet, and then a quarter note and a rest. And that was forte. Now we're back to piano. Dotted quarter eighth, quarter note triplet, eighth note triplet, eighth note, quarter note triplet, half note. All right, so this is basically the kind of thing you would do before you were going to sight read something. You want to analyze it and see what all the elements are and see if you know how to do them. All right, so this one seems to really be focused on the relationship between triplets and eighth notes or triplets and quarter notes. And it just constantly goes back and forth between them. So let's go ahead and set our metronomes to 126 and try this one out.
Ta, ti, ta, triola, 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 ti, ti, triola, ti, ti, triola, ta. Ta, ti, ta, ti, ti, triola, triola, ti, ti, ta, ti, triola, ta. Ti, ti, triola, 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 ta. Triola, 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 ta. Ta, ti, triola, 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 ti, ti, triola, triola, ta.
All right, rhythm 2. Now we're adding 16th notes to the mix, but the overall concept is still the same. Quarter note triplets or eighth note triplets, which is the idea of fitting 3 notes into the space where 2 normally reside. So now we're in 4/4. Each bar divides up into 2 beats plus 2 beats. I'm skipping the pickup bar, but here's the first bar, dotted quarter, eighth note, and then we've got 2 quarters. Next part, we've got 4 eighth notes, and we got 2 eighth notes and an eighth note triplet. Quarter note triplets, quarter note triplets. Here we've got syncopated quarter note with 2 eighth notes on either end of it. Ooh, then this is the tricky one, a dotted eighth rest, a 16th note, and then 2 eighth notes. So that's rest, ki, ti, ti. All right, now we've got a dotted quarter and an eighth. Yes, baby. Hi, baby. Oh, nice try. Next half of that bar, we have a quarter note, dotted eighth and a 16th. So ta, ti, ki. Next bar, dotted eighth and a 16th, and then 2 eighths, followed by 2 eighths and then an eighth note triplet. Notice how in the next bar there's 2 sets of quarter note triplets. That takes up an entire 4/4 measure. And that's kind of analogous to that African music video we watched where you have 6/4, right? The main beat is 4, but we're having 6 equal notes squeezed into it. All right, next line. Syncopation, then we got a quarter and a quarter rest. Eighth note triplets and a quarter rest, and then we've got quarter note triplet. And here in this bar, we start with forte. Next bar, we've got a, don't mind my family, we've got a 4/16 notes and a quarter rest, and then quarter note triplets. 2/8 and a rest, and then quarter note triplets. Dotted quarter and an eighth note and 2 quarter notes. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And then we've got dotted eighth and a 16th and 2/8. Triplet, 2/8, and then quarter note triplet, syncopation, quarter note, and that's the other half of the pickup measure from the beginning, so that is incomplete. Whew. Okay, let's set our metronomes to 140 and let's do this one.
Ti ti ta, ti ta ta, ti 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 ti, triola triola triola, ti ta ti, ki ti ti ta, ti ta ti, ki ti 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 ti, triola triola triola, ti ta, triola triola, tiki tiki, triola ti ti, triola ta, ti ta ta. Ti, ki ti ti, triola ti ti ti, ola triola ti ta.
Okay, so for this etude, I kind of wanted to practice leaping to chromatic notes. So the first 4 notes of it, I've outlined the tonic triad. Do, mi, sol, do. And now we're going to leap to fi, sol, le. And that's where I have introduced the first part of the chromaticism. So jumping from do down to fi is something you'll practice there. Now I've got a complete diatonic scale going down. Sol, fa, mi, re, do, no problem. But from there, you're supposed to jump up to si, la. Okay, so from do, jumping up to si, and then resolving out to la. That's more chromaticism. From la, I've got this 7th chord outlined, and it's actually a half diminished 7th chord. So la, fa, re, ti, la, fa, re, ti. And then, so that's a half diminished 7th, and then I just got the ending do, sol, do. All right, let's give that one a shot.
Do, mi, sol, do, fi, sol, le, sol, fa, mi, re, do, si, la, fa, re, ti, do, sol, do.
All right, so for the melody, we are in A major in 4/4 time. The first melody that I've highlighted, the first 2-bar idea, starts on the tonic and goes basically up the scale, up to la, but then leaps down to fi and then touches sol. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol, la, fi, sol. The next 2-bar idea is all diatonic. Fa, re, mi, do, re, ti, do, la, ti, sol. All basically thirds. Next 2 measure idea, same beginning. Do, re, mi, same beginning. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, di, re. So you're going to jump from sol to di, re. Okay? And then the ending is a simple mi, re, do. Mi, re, re, do, 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 do. All right, let's sing an A major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Let's go to metronome 125 and let's sing it. All right, melody 3. This is actually from the Farewell Symphony of Joseph Haydn, who's my favorite classical composer. The first 2 measure idea, we're in D major, we start pianissimo, and we have this nice leap from sol up to mi. Sol, mi, re, do, ti. And then it takes it a step higher, minor 7th. Sol, fa, mi, re, do. And then an octave. Sol, sol. And now we've got some chromaticism coming in. Fa, mi, re. Di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, fa, re. Down a 2 chord, and then we go do, ti. And there's implied a half cadence. Now the period is going to start again. And here's where we leap to chromaticism. So we're going to leap a major 7th. Sol, fi, sol, fa, re, mi, re. Same thing. Sol, fi, sol, fa, re, mi, re. And then another major 7th, but this time from the tonic. Do, ti, do, sol, mi, re, si, la, fa, re, do, re, ti, do. So it's going to be a tricky one, but it's a really beautiful one. Let's sing a D major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Let's set our metronomes to 95 and let's sing it.
Sol, mi, re, do, ti. Sol, fa, mi, re, do. Sol, sol, fa, mi, re, di, re, mi, fa, fi, sol, si, la, fa, re, do, ti. Sol, fi, sol, fa, re, mi, re. Sol, fi, sol, fa, re, mi, re. Do, ti, do, sol, mi, re, si, la, fa, re, do, re, ti, do.